And welcome to another episode of Next Level Real Talk Podcast with Sheldon and David. Hey, David, how you doing?
Doing great. Been a great week. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. And it was awesome the other week with Corey,
Corey?
talking
Yep.
with her. What a beautiful soul and just a great example of somebody that's kind of always living in that kind of a surrendered, open place of
Yeah.
connection and always paying attention to that connection that she has, and how that how that can shift how you are in the world and how you
And always looking within herself.
always looking within
Always
herself.
she's always like, hey, when things are happening, she's okay, where am I?
Yes.
And experiencing where she has like she talked about the spiral, she's that always
Hmm.
comes up, something comes up, something comes up, which we've talked about.
Yep.
She always goes within.
Yep.
She doesn't do any blaming, she doesn't do anything. She just goes, where am I at? Because she's had a lot of crap go down in her life. If you guys
Yes.
haven't listened, listen to both of her episodes.
Yes. Yes.
She's been through a lot. So,
Yes.
but to see her within herself, she's so awesome and so outgoing and just so great to hear stories from
Yeah.
because she's so uplifting.
She's
So,
yeah. What a beautiful
mhm.
example. Um,
Yeah, I mean, she talked about that spiral. And real quick, okay, we're going to review. Okay, class, please sit back and review. Um, yeah, trying to make sense of insanity is insanity. You don't have to understand it all. And
yeah.
that's where she comes from a lot
Yep.
because a lot of things have happened. She's like, why is this here? She goes, you don't have to understand it.
Yep.
Just sit back and go through it and say,
Yep.
okay, what am I supposed to learn from it, whatever.
Yep.
What what we need at one point, we may not need at another, which is I think another good point she brought up.
Yep.
You may be going, hey, this is a great tool for me to use. Well, later on, that may not be what you need to use later on. So just
When
be
you
be open.
yes, when
Yeah,
you talk about finding happiness in the moment, right?
yeah,
Finding peace in the moment, especially now with so much going on, right? You know,
yeah,
dating this whole situation, right? But obviously, this is in 2026, and we're talking about, there's a war with Iran going on with absolute potential for escalation, and is a mess. It's messing with the economy, and the price of gas and the price of food and all that kind of stuff, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for people to literally just get by on a daily basis, day to day, just with day to day expenses and stuff like that. And how can you, is it possible to even find peace now, right? And I think that goes to the fundamental thing we're always talking about on the show, that, you know, can you look within, can you go within? And there is a place in there that you can find a place of peace. And that was what Corey was so beautiful. Even while getting seasick and stuff like that and tossed around the ocean and throwing up, she was able to find a measure, a level of just acceptance of the moment. And maybe she wasn't in her happy, joyful spot, right? But she wasn't as caught up as she might have been in the past, kind of thing. And I think that's such a profound, like, example, right? And inspired example to pay attention to, is like how, and blaming others. We talk about, and she was talking about the mind, right? And we're back. We had a little technical weirdness going on there, but we were talking about Corey and kind of some of the lessons from her, and one of them was about conscious or something, or
yeah. It was. There were two parts to the first one. It was trying to make sense of insanity is insanity.
right,
You're trying to make sense of stuff. Like,
yeah,
why am I trying to? You don't have to understand it all. Is the
yeah,
main part of that. Like, you
yeah,
know, sometimes you're trying to understand what people are doing or what's going on,
yep,
but sometimes you're not going to understand it because
yep,
we're not in that position.
yep,
So I really like how she said that you're just not going to understand it all. So
yep,
it's okay not
yep,
to understand it all.
yep.
You know,
The Course in Miracles, that's where that comes from, and I think it was also in the Way of Mastery. I don't know if she did Course in Miracles, but it's like, yeah, trying to make sense of an insane world isn't it? It's insane. The world is
yeah,
insane because you're in your mind, and the kind of the metaphysical thing, that principle they talk about is, you believe you're separate from God, and you're actually not.
hmm
You're actually one. You're connected with the Father. I
yeah,
am my Father in one. You're connected, and you think you're not. So you're insane.
yeah,
Your mind is the part that thinks it's separate. Your
hmm
heart can feel that connection, and so when you think you're separate, you're automatically using a part of this beingness that is unaware of the reality.
Yeah, and in that, it's kind of, you don't have to understand it all.
Yeah.
And at that point, when you're trying to understand it sometimes and trying to get through it, you start blaming people,
Yeah.
others. Well, you're doing this wrong. You're
Yep.
doing that.
Yep. You're trying to.
Instead of, yeah, put it on them. Instead of going within yourself and going, okay, where am I?
Yep.
Where am I? Where do I need to be first? Ground yourself, and then you can evaluate other stuff going on. But if you're continually blaming others, maybe they're not the problem. I mean,
Yeah. And
go in within yourself and see where you can be at peace with you
yes, because,
first.
and that's that whole idea. Like, can you be at peace now in the midst of all this chaos and the war and everything like that? Yes, you can. And there's a place, and that's the idea of seek first the kingdom of heaven within, all things will be added. That there is this place within you that is connected, number one, and at peace. And
Yeah,
it is feeling the grace and the peace, right?
yeah,
Of your creator, of God, of the Father, of the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. To me, I don't really care about the words that you use, and sometimes people get different interpretations by that, right? People get triggered by those words, right?
yeah. Don't get caught up in it. Just go.
Yeah, try not
You're
to get
going
caught.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you are.
and you're going with whenever you're going within, can you find that place within you in the midst of whatever's happening, right? And that is the idea of bringing heaven to earth, right?
Yeah,
That
you find your higher power. What's your higher
yes,
power? You
yeah,
know.
whatever you call it, in my opinion, is irrelevant. But know that it's there and spend time looking for it.
Yes.
Which we don't, right? Because most of us are trying to control the outside world. And understanding is a form of control, right? When you try to mentally understand something, you're trying to, now I got it. Like that is a form of control, right? So on a physical level, we try to control our environment, which on a certain level, okay, fine, I need a home, I need safety, whatever, right? But we try to control things physically. We try to control our emotions mentally or emotionally, right? We repress things. We don't want to feel certain things. And we try to control things mentally by understanding. And all of that is a fear-based aspect of not understanding that you have the capacity to be in perfect communion with your creator, with God, with the Father right now. Like that communion is accessible to you at all times, and it's actually your natural state. And so just kind of chill and relax. And
And
that's
it's,
why you
yeah. And when you come in to yourself and find yourself and say, okay, where am I? Okay, yes, all this is going on. As we've said, we've dated this because there's the war in Iran going on. And oil prices are up, food prices are up, things are up, everything's crazy. Yes, my mind can go there and go like, okay, what about this? 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 I got a truck that holds 36 gallons of gas. I'm like, it's a lot of money. Do I just do $5 every time I go in, or what do I do? Well, that's not even a gallon of gas. Never mind. But nowadays, but do I stress and worry about that? It's going to be there no matter what. Or do I go within myself and say, okay, here's where I am. Here's what I have. Here's my bubble. Here's my world. Now, how do I maneuver out into that? It's going to be a problem. Okay, there might be issues going on. We're not saying once you find that peace within you that everything, oh, it's hunky dory. The war's going on, I'm okay. Or my divorce is going on, I'm okay. Or I have no money, it's okay. No, but once you come in and find that peace within you and say, yes, a lot's going on, but where am I?
yeah.
We know
And
where I am. And now I can venture and go, how do I deal with this financial problem? How do I deal with the divorce? How do I deal with the prices or war or whatever's going on, whatever's in your world, so that you don't get so caught up in it that you find yourself grounded?
yeah. And from that grounded place, the other thing that happens, right, when you're grounding, and you have that story about when you were driving your to work and you were like, I have no idea how I'm going to get through the day. But you were in a kind of a prayerful, quiet state, right? And when you quiet the mind, and again, the mind is always trying to control, right? So your mind wants to figure it out. But when you kind of release that and you just quiet the mind, now you're open, you're in communion, you're connected, and you're open. And then, you can call it revelation or inspiration, right? Then you had that moment where, bam, why
Yeah.
don't you use the 365 lesson or whatever?
Yeah.
Those things
That was
happen.
exactly it, by the way.
And those are not things that you would have ever been able to, with your own mind, figure your way out to.
Yeah.
right? It was almost a miracle. That's why they
Yeah.
call it the Course of Miracles, right? It was, these are what happens. Miracles occur naturally to a mind that is at rest, and to a body and to a
Mhm.
heart that is connected. That's what it talks about in the Course of Miracles, is that when you get to that state, these kinds of things can happen all the time because you're not trying to control it yourself.
Yeah.
And it is a kind of surrendered state. So
And
people, sometimes people don't like that terminology because it feels, if you have stuff with certain religions, whatever, right, that can catch you up. But that is what's happened. There's a kind of openness
mhm. And
to you not being in your brain, not
yeah.
necessarily being okay, help,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So real quick, for those that don't know, I'm gonna do it real quick. That story he's talking about, I was driving to work, and it was in the middle of the divorce, and something was big on my mind that day, and I didn't know what to teach. And it's accounting. You can't just walk in and go, okay, we're just gonna hang out. It's pretty intense. So I didn't know what to do, and I'm on the road driving. No, and my eyes weren't closed. I was driving. So, but I just kind of like, I don't know what to do, and I just let go. I let go of all my thoughts, let go of everything, because it was all just so. eh. And when I let go and was a kind of a meditative, relaxed state, do the lesson 365, do 365. And that was a 3 to 4 day process of doing an entire spreadsheet. And it was like, wow. But I would not have done that if I didn't relax and come within myself. So, that's where I had to let go of this to be able to get this.
Exactly. That's
So that's what Sheldon was talking about. So that's that scenario.
Yep. And
And that can happen with you and every day. That can happen to you. So just
it
be
happens all the time, right? I mean,
yeah,
you start. They always talk about you should journal these things, right? Because that kind of thing starts to happen
yeah.
all the time. Even with Corey's story, where she's on the boat and getting seasick. I think there was a moment where they were like kind of relax, hey, just sisu or
And
whatever, right? And those things
yeah,
kind of come in, and you're like, okay, I can deal with this, right? And let me just surrender to the moment.
she was
And
still sick.
yeah,
No, don't get us wrong. She was
yeah,
still sick. And I wanted earlier I was going to bring up, and right before that, she said something too. She was like, she pushed herself to going out on that boat because
yeah,
there were several signs. God was telling me, I was being told, don't go out today.
yeah,
Don't go out today. Don't go out today. And she says, no, I'm going to go out today. So
yeah.
she went out and she goes, oops. So she had her mindset.
Yes, it
I'm
was
not
her
saying
mind, right?
I'm not saying if it would have worked, but if she would have gone, maybe said, "Hey, what's going on?" and kind of slow down
Yep,
and let whatever's up there relax.
yep.
You go, you know what?
Quiet.
Maybe I don't need to go today. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yep.
So be willing to take that when something's popping at you. Say, wait a minute, where am I at?
Yep.
Take a minute just to come ground yourself and go, okay, yeah, no, I'm still going to do that. Okay, that's fine,
And
but take
and
that
this
moment.
whole way of being, which will create peace, lasting peace and happiness. I mean,
Mhm.
that is ultimately, and we've had a bunch of people on the show, and all of them have different ways, but it ultimately, I think it comes down to this dynamic that we're talking about right now, right? All of them have had some form of this. Feels very almost unwestern for sure, right? Like
Mhm.
you're going to sit there, and in the West, it's about I'm the doer, I'm the maker of happen, I make stuff happen, right? I'm in control, I take charge, right? And it's that whole yin yang, it's the action doing, and the doingness is the only place. And we're talking, you have to connect into the place of beingness,
Mhm.
of
Yes.
stillness and an openness. And in that place, that's where the inspiration can come from. So it's very counterintuitive to the way we were all raised. So if you're hearing this and you're like, that sounds totally ridiculous, or that sounds insane, or that's impossible, or I got to get S done in this day and I'm super busy and I got a lot I got to do, it can feel like that. Oh, gee, if I'm a monk, that works. But both of us have very active, busy lives.
Yeah.
We are working, we've got our families, and we're dealing with, grandkids and kids
Yep.
and all that stuff every day. And it does not preclude us. As a matter of fact, I think the argument is that it actually makes you more effective. It makes you more present with whatever's going on, right? So you can actually see it clearer. And then you end up making better decisions even when you feel like you're doing it mentally from your own space, right? Not
Yeah.
everything is this big, huge, miraculous, inspired thing, but you think more clearly, so you're in a flow more naturally, right?
Mhm. Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it's the no matter what you're going through, I mean, it's every day's crazy. You got to make tons of decisions every day. It's just got to be figure out where am I at, where am I going, and it's letting the mind relax a little bit because as Sheldon said, we're all about do. Okay, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. That's okay to be a do, but let your
there's time for that.
yes.
There's also time for the other.
And in my devotionals, I mean, it's funny because I read a little bit my devotional real quick in the morning because I don't spend a lot of time in the morning. I do more in the afternoon and evening. But it says, "Still your mind before your day.
Yeah.
Let me guide your way through the day." It's like, in other words, I mean, the Bible's saying, "Stop.
Yeah.
I need you to relax.
Yeah.
Let your brain clear.
Calm down.
Now let's go out for the day."
Yeah.
So, if you're really a Bible believer into the
Yes.
Bible, I'm
It's
coming at
all
you right
there.
now. It's there.
It's all
So,
there.
it's
100%
coming.
it's all there.
But it's said by a lot of people, not just the Bible, but I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of teachings are like, stop, listen,
Well,
relax.
that devotional, which you gave me, right? Sarah Young was the author, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful book, right?
Yep.
I hate to say this, but she kind of said she channeled that.
Yeah. So
That
she yeah.
an inspired voice came in a quiet moment and came through her, and then
Hmm.
she automatic write. And so, in certain metaphysical communities, they would say, "Oh, that was a channel automatic writing." That sounds all spooky. Or you could say, "Oh, the Holy Spirit came through,
Talking
and,
to her,
and it was,"
talking to her. Yeah.
and that's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that,
So,
right? But it's
um,
beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful practice, right? And it's
yeah.
completely consistent with everything we're talking about right now, right? Just
Yeah.
open your
And it's,
space for Jesus, Holy Spirit, your higher self. Doesn't matter what you call it, right?
yeah. Whoever is your higher power, let
Yes.
them come in. Let
Yes.
them be in control. That's
Yes.
the biggest thing.
Yes.
And I'm gonna really date this because I'm just gonna bring it out. So Tiger Woods had an issue this
Yeah.
last weekend,
Yeah.
and I read in the paper today. Darryl Strawberry, famous baseball player, been through his drug problems, addiction, and he came out. And he's going down a very bad road, and he
Yeah.
goes, I'm sorry, but this going to these little places to get help isn't going to help him. He needs to go to God. He needs to go within himself. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, there we go.
Yeah.
So understand, it's not like it's you gotta yes, you can go get help in things, but you gotta find yourself first and
And
find
and anybody who's ever done the 12-step program is totally a spiritual program. It
yes.
is it
Mhm.
is surrender to the higher power.
Yeah.
That's literally the first two, I messed up my life
Mhm.
and I
Yes.
can't control it, and I'm going to give it up to my
Yeah.
higher power.
Mhm.
Right?
That's it.
Like it's like so it's absolutely, and it tries to be very open and non-denominational in that sense, right?
Yeah,
So,
totally.
like
Yeah,
even when
so
you're saying when I connect to myself, myself, right? That's, in the Hindu tradition, they talk about self-realization with a capital S, right?
oh,
And that self-realization is the higher self that's within you. That's not the brain, the little brain, but it's the part of you that is connected, So
mm,
they have different terminology, but it's the same stuff. So anyway,
yeah. So it's all yeah, I mean, it's all about coming within you.
yeah,
And just as Sheldon and I have talked about before in the shows, it's ground yourself first. If
yeah,
something's going on, take a moment.
yes,
If you're getting caught up in something that's going on in the world or your personal life right there, find a moment where as Sheldon said, he used to go to the bathroom. Listen,
yeah,
I'm gonna go sit on the toilet. You
yeah,
know, I mean, toilet seat's down. It's not
yep,
even up. He's just sitting on the toilet.
yep,
You
yep,
know, just go sit there and go.
yep,
Nobody needs to know.
yep,
You're in there meditating, going like, "Let me relax. Let me relax." My dad always said, "Go have a cup of coffee.
yeah,
Don't say anything. Don't type anything." But he was saying, "Go meditate.
yep,
Let your brain relax. Get out of the
yep,
situation. Go do something. Then come back with a calm mind, calm body, calm self, and go.
yep,
This is where I'm coming from."
yep,
So it may take time to get to that. That's why we say you need to practice it now
yep.
to get yourself calmed down and then get into that peace and let your brain kind of clear up so that down the road when it does happen, you're ready. Boom, boom.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. It's just like an athlete. An athlete trains when they're
Hmm.
not in the contest so that when they get in the contest, they have the tools and the techniques and they're ready. right? Whether
Yep.
that's whatever that is. And so that's what we're saying is taking the time to go within when everything's great. And that's what I say, 5 times a day for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, right? Do five
Hmm.
times a day, golden sun meditation, whatever. Connect, 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 so that you get to understand what that feels like for you, what the process feels like, how it works, and then when big things happen, you'll have a tool and you'll know how to use it. You'll know what it works like. And the tricky thing is now that, and this is kind of why we're just imploring anybody who's listening is to take that time, is because there's so much going on in the world right now that it's hard not to feel like it's hard not to get caught up. I'm a news junkie. I was
Same
in the
here.
military. I swore to defend the Constitution and to serve my country. So all of those things that are happening in the world right now are hooks for me.
Yeah. Big time.
Like all of them, like literally all of them, right? And so it's hard not to get caught, right? But you have to take the time to say,
Hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
can I witness what is happening and still stay connected in my own heart, in my own
Yeah.
beingness,
And
right?
going back, it kind of came off of the four squares, but just yesterday I'm sitting there and an ambulance drove by, and at that one moment I was like doing something, I didn't stop. Another one went by, like about 20 minutes later. I was like, stop, because that's my trigger to stop and go,
Yep.
where am I at? And it
Yep.
wasn't like okay, go in the room. No, it
Yeah.
was like goes by. I just sit at my desk. I stopped and went. I prayed for the person in the ambulance, the first responders, the family, and the medical. Then I said, where am I? Where you at right now? Like, am I in the stress mode? I'm in a good mode. What's coming up? Okay, let's go. So just a readjustment for me. That was my little,
Yes.
okay, ground myself, pray for them. Where you at? Let's move on.
Yeah.
Less than a minute.
Yes.
Less than a minute for me.
Yes.
So,
But it shifts you.
yes.
You can feel that shift, but
Hmm.
that's also because you've been practicing it for a while now, right?
Yes.
And you
Exactly.
know how to do it, and your body gets better at getting into that state faster because you've practiced. And so that's the thing. It's just like
Hmm.
going to the gym. The first time you go to the gym, you're all sore and everything feels awkward. After a couple of years of going to the gym 3 times a week or 5 times a week or every day, your body knows what the gym feels like, and it
Yep.
works better. It's
Hmm.
it's no different with your heart and your mind in these practices. So taking the time. So I kind of feel like it's a little bit of it, right? It's short and
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh yeah, that was I love the short and sweet, and I honestly didn't write notes because it's pretty simple. I
Yeah.
mean, we're just
It's
talking about
stuff.
go within yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, things are going on. It's going to happen. Go within yourself. Go, where am I? Stop blaming others.
Yep.
Look within yourself. Say, okay, where am I at in this? What's going on? And then go back out and evaluate what's going on and see where you can go. Because you make a
It's,
better choice
it's,
once you've grounded
it's
yourself. You have
Yeah,
better.
stop trying to understand it and control it.
Yeah.
And in that moment of quietness, it's okay to ask for a help.
Yes.
And whoever that is you're going to ask
Hmm.
to, you can just say, okay, give me some guidance here, or whatever that is. Okay, let me know how I should proceed. However you do that is just putting up you call it prayer, right? It's just
Hmm.
putting it out there, but quieting your mind and then being open to receive some kind of guidance,
Yeah.
right? And then taking the time to do that and practicing that. And again, it doesn't have to take a lot of time, but again, especially given all of the stuff going on in the world, this is kind of
Hmm.
like a review. But that is, to me, the idea of heaven on earth, because the peace is always within us. And so you're bringing a bit of the heaven into the earth. And that's that's kind of the big picture of what's supposed to happen. And that will make you happier.
Yeah. That's still it. I mean, because then
If you want to be selfish about it, just,
that's what it's all about. I'm sorry. It's okay
yeah,
to be selfish at
yeah,
that
it
point.
is. It is. You're going to be
Because,
happy. You'll find more peace. You'll be able to handle stuff in the world better.
yeah.
Um,
Because there's a lot of hard stuff going on. I don't care
yeah,
who you are, where
yeah,
you are, what you are. If everything's like, oh, I'm at peace,
yeah,
something's there.
yeah,
Something is there.
yeah,
I'm sorry to say that, but if you are okay with you and you know where you can go from,
yeah,
otherwise you're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm coming from.
yeah,
Go within you and say, this is where I am. It's
yeah,
okay that, like, one of those, let them.
yeah,
I'm not going to worry about them at this point. I'm going to
yeah,
worry about me,
yep,
get myself, and then I can deal with that situation.
yep. It's
So,
exactly what that whole book is about, right? Let them.
yep.
It's just
Let
a
them.
form of letting go. It's a form of release. It's a form of letting go of control. All of the things we're talking about is people are, saying in many different ways. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
So go out
give
and do
it,
that.
yeah,
Give
give it a
yourself,
try.
yeah.
Again, it feels counterintuitive. It's totally upside down from the way the Western world is, our world is, right?
Hmm.
But I promise you, if you give it a try, you will feel something.
And just work at it.
Yep.
Make it like me. Siren goes off, goes by. Stop.
Yep.
Do it. That's a trigger. Not like you. I think Stephen had an alarm go off
Yep.
every so often. So
Yep.
do it. Do what works for you. And that's
Yep.
what we keep saying. Like we have a lot of people come on, but do what works for you because
Yes.
you're individual.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And hope it helps. And make sure you reach out to your friends. Share this with friends that might need this. Like us. Always ask questions if you need to. We're here if you need to talk. Obviously we don't have a live show, but if you reach out, we're always willing to talk if you need some support or help or whatever. And, um, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, keep
We
a
thank that we are grateful that you're listening and sharing the journey with us.
yeah,
Again, like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. And we love you and
yeah.
take care.
Have a great week. Keep that smile on.